Lord of Universe. Yes, that's Jagannath. So this we'll try to sing. So you all can close your eyes and hear carefully when I sing, and then you after that you can sing. Okay? Ramachandra Raghuvira Ramachandra Ranadhira. Everyone. Ramachandra Raghuvira Ramachandra Ranadhira Ramachandra Raghuvira Ramachandra Ranadhira Ramachandra Raghuvira Ramachandra Ramachandra Raghuvira Ramachandra Ramachandra Thank you very much for such an enthusiastic chant. So let's begin today's session by chanting the auspicious prayers. Please come forward, everyone. Please repeat. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Om Ajnanatimirandhasya.
Om Ajnanatimirandhasya.
Jnananjana Shalakaya.
Jnananjana Shalakaya.
Chakshuronmilitam yena.
Chakshuronmilitam yena.
Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha.
Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha.
Nama Om Vishnupadaya.
Namo Om Vishnupadaya.
Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale.
Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale.
Srimate Bhakti Vedanta.
Srimate Bhakti Vedanta.
Swaminiti Namine.
Swaminiti Namine.
Namaste Saraswate Deve.
Namaste Saraswate Deve.
Gauravani Pracharine.
Gauravani Pracharine.
Nirvishesha Shunyavadi.
Nirvishesha Shunyavadi.
Paschatya Deshatarine.
Paschatya Deshatarine.
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya.
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya.
Prabhu Nityananda.
Prabhu Nityananda.
Shri Advaita Gadadhar.
Shri Advaita Gadadhar.
Srivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare.
Hare Rama Hare Rama.
Hare Rama Hare Rama.
Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim. Yat kripatam vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam. Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. So welcome everyone once again. Since we have Vijay Dashmi on 5th, which is also called as Ram Vijayotsav, which is also called as Dashera. So we thought today we'll have a special festival session where discuss and understand the glories of Ramayana. Also, it's very unfortunate that all our great festivals have been pulled down to a very, very abominable level. I was hearing in the news long time back, I'm sure it might be deteriorated even more. During Navaratri, the 9 days, especially in Gujarat, they were telling that they have this dance, right? Garba, play, Dandiya. So it was told that many females are going and, or many females are out, at late night. So a lot of, I don't know what to call it as sitting on the Vyasasana. So many things are getting sold, from the medical shop, so that they'll not beget kids, when they have sex. Yes. So that's going on. This is the festival that is going on now. We have forgotten the glories of the festival. But every festival is made into sense gratification now. How can I do better sense gratification? Festivals are meant to go deeper in one's consciousness. So when we have this holiday, on a festival we have holiday, right? It's not holiday, it's holy day. Actually that's the meaning, holy day. So wherein you take a break from your daily schedule, and on that holy day, you go deeper and deeper and deeper in your consciousness and get closer to the Lord. That's why it's called as a holy day. But now it's like holiday and then do whatever you want. So let's try to understand different lessons, life lessons from Ramayana. Let's try to go deeper with Dashara. Let's try to see how we can implement more and more wonderful things in our life so that we raise our consciousness level, we go deeper in spirituality and make our life successful. That's what is our goal in these sessions. We dedicate this presentation to A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, who is the founder Acharya of ISKCON. I don't know if he wouldn't have been there, even I would be dancing somewhere, some place, some pub or some bar, yes, wasting this human form. It's because of him, today all around the world in different ISKCON centers, we have authentic festival celebration that goes on, keeping Lord in the center of the festival. Now currently the festival means remove the Lord from the center, put yourself in the center and see how you can enjoy the best. That's what the festival is all about now. Be it Dashara, be it Diwali, be it Holi, be it anything. How can I do the best sense gratification? In the spiritual retreat, someone was asking me, I heard that Lord Shiva drinks bhang or some intoxicant, he takes ganja and this and that. I said, where did you read all this? Where did you get all this info from? No, people say. Then I told them one thing, okay, chalo, let's assume that Lord Shiva takes some drugs. So, you're imitating Lord Shiva? Okay, imitate that pastime also where he drank all the poison and held it in his neck. Imitate that also. Why imitate only some part of it? Lord Shiva cannot do all that. But then, Shastras say, it's very clear about the personality of Lord Shiva. So the point is that for our own sense gratification, we are ready to pull down the image of great personalities also. But by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, we could go deeper in Shastra and understand what is the reality. So let's begin. Life lessons from Ramayana. So I've got 10 life lessons, but I'm sure I'll not be able to cover all 10. So whatever we can cover till 7, 10, 7, 15, we'll cover. There's a nice prayer which comes in Valmiki Ramayana. Please repeat. Ramaya Ramabhadraya
Ramaya Ramabhadraya
Ramachandraya Vedase
Ramachandraya Vedase
Raghunathaya Nathaya
Raghunathaya Nathaya
Sitaya Pataye Namaha.
Sitaya Pataye Namaha.
So these are the different names of the Lord Ramchandra. So different personalities would call him with these different names. So Dasharath Maharaj, who was Dasharath? Father of Ram. Acha, Ravan nahi bole. Now Ravan is more famous in market than Lord Ram, Yes, Dasharath is the father of Lord Ram and he would call as Ram. Ramabhadra. So the Brahmanas who were there, they would call him as Ramabhadra. Then Ramachandra, the three mothers, they would call him as Ramachandra. Because as a baby, so they would see the greenish hue, well, that was the complexion of the Lord, blackish greenish hue. And when they would look at the face of the Lord, it was like a moon. So they would call him as Ramachandra. Who were the three mothers? Kaushalya, Kaikeyi, Sumitra. Chalo, acha. Thank you. These are the three mothers. Vedase. So this is also one of the names. And it also means, all these names are given in Vedas, but it is also a name which Vishwamitra and Vashishta, such great people would call him as Vedase. Raghunatha. The soldiers of the dynasty, they would call him as Raghunatha. You are our master. Natha. So different personalities like Sugriva, Hanuman, Guha, etc. They will call as Natha. You are our Lord. Because they were in the servant mode. Sita Pati. Now the females or the ladies in Ayodhya, so they were concerned with Sita. So they would address Ram in context to Sita. So they would call him as Sita Pati. So these are the different names of this great personality, Lord Sri Ramachandra, who is not different from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So now I'm sure all of us might have read, I should say and read some TV series or some animation, something about Ramayana, I'm sure. That's how first I got some knowledge about Ramayana, by watching some animated cartoon. Fortunately, it was authentic, so I could understand some things from that. And when I read, so I could relate. In my childhood, what I watched was proper. So all of us know that how these four brothers were there. Such nice unity was there amongst themselves. Lakshman was inseparable from Ram. And the other two, who were they? Bharat and Shatrughna. They were inseparable. And there was a time when Dasharatha Maharaj, he was sitting in his court. And then he was just seeing himself in the mirror. And then he saw some white hair. And then he realized, oh, I'm getting old. It's time to retire. I was telling in spiritual retreat session that nowadays when people see white hair, immediately they color it off. But when it comes to Dasharatha Maharaj at that time, because see, previously people were interested to progress in the spiritual life, right? They were in that mood. I want to become intense in spiritual life. I want to break the cycle of birth and death. So that was the mood. So as soon as they would see any sign of old age, immediately they'll give up the responsibilities and do exclusive devotional service. Nowadays people see any sign of old age, apply some cream, apply some paint here and there, and prove, see, I'm young. One of our devotees, so in ISKCON we call females as Mataji and males as Prabhuji. So one of our devotee, during some meeting or something, it's sincere, we keep speaking Prabhu, Mataji and things like that. So in a meeting, he called one of his colleagues as Mataji. And she started shouting like anything. Mataji, dekh ke mujhe, Mataji, kya bola tu? People get really offended, if you tell them you're old. There are few devotees whom I know, devotees are newcomers. They're like 50 plus. And if I tell them that you're getting old, become intense in bhakti, they're like, nahi Prabhuji, abhi to life chalu hua hai. So Dasharatha Maharaj was very high in his consciousness level. After all, he's father of Lord. He has to be. As soon as he saw that, he called the ministers and he said, now I want to retire. So I have a proposal. And what is the proposal? The proposal is we should make Ram as the king of Ayodhya. And what was the reaction of all the ministers? Amazed. They were like so amazed and so happy and so jubilant. Because everyone was waiting. Everyone was waiting for Lord Ram to become the king. And as soon as everyone agreed, then this news was, the Lord Ram was called, the news was given to him that tomorrow your Raj Abhishek will happen. And then everyone started making all the arrangements. Everyone, it was like hustle and bustle everywhere, all festival. Everyone was running hither and thither, decorating their own houses, decorating the roads, decorating entire place. This is Ram Rajya. Why it is Ram Rajya? Because Ram is the center of that Rajya. Now currently politicians do talk about Ram Rajya, but without Lord Ram. That's what they want. So everyone was happy. Everyone was happy except One person. Who was that?
Mantra. No,
नहीं कैकेयी नहीं, कैकेयी तो अच्छी है. Manthara. Manthara was the personal servant of Kaikeyi. Now, for your information, please hear. In the childhood, right from childhood, Ram would spend a lot of time with Kaikeyi. का ना बोल रहे तो Kaikeyi. Yes, Kaikeyi. More than Kaushalya, he would spend a lot of time with Kaikeyi. And Bharat would spend a lot of time with Kaushalya. Now, something like that it was. And whatever Kaikeyi would do, she would make sure that Ram is there. She would pray for Lord Ram first, then Bharat afterwards. She would love Ram so much, more than Kaushalya. More than Kaushalya. Can you imagine that? When I read it for the first time, I was getting goosebumps. ऐसा था. This was the situation. But then what happened? At that time, Manthara, who was not very happy, she comes to the chambers of Kaikeyi. Someone was asking me this question, that according to our custom, only one marriage should happen. Or no, they were asking in a different way. Previously, the kings would marry multiple wives. What is the problem now? No, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. औकात भी तो होनी चाहिए ना. So when Dasharath Maharaj married these three queens, all the three queens had three different palaces. Sometimes people ask, why Krishna married 16,108 queens? अरे तेरा क्या जाता है? He married. What is your problem? You know what? In Dwarka, Krishna built 16,108 palaces for each and every queen. And for every day, from each and every palace, 10,000 cows were given in charity. And ऐसा नहीं कि Krishna is going to one palace, then second, as a sequence में. And the queen is waiting. अभी मेरा number आएगा, अभी मेरा number आएगा. He would expand himself and enter at 16,108 Krishnas into each palaces. अगर ये सब कर सकते तो करो शायद. कौन मना कर रहा है? So here there was a different palace of Kaikeyi, and this Manthara, she went running. She couldn't tolerate. These envious people, they cannot tolerate the good news. She went and then she said loudly, I don't know if she called madam or something, but then she said that Lord Ram is going to be coronated as the king tomorrow. And as soon as Kaikeyi heard, she was so happy and so jubilant. Immediately she removed the very, very precious necklace on her neck, and then she gave it to Manthara, and Manthara took that and she threw it down. And at that time, Kaikeyi, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? And then she, in a very, very sad mood, she started speaking. Arey, you'll not understand. And she started crying. I care so much for you. I care so much for you. You're not understanding what is going to happen. Ram is going to become the king and not Bharat. And Kaikeyi is like, oh, that's good. Ram is becoming the king. That's the happy news. No, it is not happy. It is sad. And she started asking why. In fact, there was a time in the discussion where Kaikeyi told Manthara that if you speak more, I'll cut your tongue. This was the statement. And at that time, Manthara, she kept quiet, and again she started speaking. And she said, okay, I'll keep quiet. Okay, I'll keep quiet. And then she started speaking. and she started speaking, and she says that I have no problem. After all, what will happen? Ram will become the king. Kaushalya, she will become the supreme queen in the entire palace, and you will become one of the maidservants. Then do whatever you want. And she kept quiet after that. Now, see, in this entire discussion, what was happening is, these kidas were put in the mind of Kaikeyi. She was so favorable towards Lord Ram. But then, just by the association and the counsel of Manthara, what happened? She changed. And then she started asking Manthara, now what should we do? Now what should we do? At that time, Manthara, no, I will not speak now. These ladies, you never know how they behave. So then she started speaking. She said, you remember you had the two boons? There was a time when Kaikeyi helped Dasharath Maharaj. She became a nurse, at one point, and Dashrath was so injured in a battle. And at that time, Dashrath did this mistake. Please don't do this mistake anytime in your life. And what was the mistake? He said, I give you 2 bones. Ask anything that you want. This was the biggest mistake that Dashrath did. He left it open-ended. No conditions, no constraints. And Kaikeyi at that time, she said, no, I don't want anything. I'm happy with you. I'm so happy that you're my husband. She didn't ask. She said, I'll ask you later. And this Manthara knew. And Manthara is saying, ask those 2 bones now. What are the 2 bones? First, Bharat should become the king. And second, send Ram for 14 years forest exile. Same lady, Same lady who had so much of love for Ram, she now became so much against Ram. This is the first lesson, that we have for today. Beware of the bad association. मतलब एकदम ऐसा शाना नहीं बनना है, एकदम smart, over smart. No, anyway, now I go to Festival of Enlightenment. My senses are controlled. I don't get agitated. But this one of our students did. He went to his village to attend some marriage. And then he came, after coming back, he was proudly telling me, Prabhuji, you know what? I had gone to bachelor's party. I'm looking at him like this. He said, Prabhuji, wait, let me tell you. I went to a bachelor's party, we had gone to a bar. My eyes widened more. Then he wait. I was sitting beside my friend and they were all drinking and my eyes widened. And he said, wait. Prabhuji, you know what? By your blessings, I didn't touch that glass or bottle. Everyone was drinking except me. I said, थप्पड़ डाल के बोलो उसको. See, we have to understand one thing. We are bound in this world. Yes? So when we attend these sessions, we might feel, oh yes, I can do it. Yes, we can. But then we are not spiritually that matured, to control the senses and kick Maya, or illusory potency of the Lord. So we should be very, very careful of the bad association. What happens is now in this, when you start coming for the session, you feel so nice. Oh, I heard about this, I heard about that. And then you start going and preaching to our friends. And now they'll start asking questions, counter questions. And then we are like, ये तो पता है नहीं session. आके मैं बताता हूँ फिर से. But now what happens? Till you meet your senior, till you meet your superior, थोड़ा time तो बच जाता है ना बीच में. He has asked a question or he has challenged you. Now there's a gap that is there before you ask your superior. Maybe you come on a Saturday or a Wednesday or whatever, or call. So in that gap, what happens, What has happened with Kaikeyi? That doubt goes into our head. We start thinking about it. हम लोग शाने हैं ना अभी. Answer पता है हमें, तो हम ढूंढ रहे हैं answer को. ऐसे बोला उसने, ऐसे हो सकता है, नहीं ये गलत है. And then there will be a time when we start subscribing to what that person said, and then whatever the superior answer he is giving, will not be able to accept. So we should be very careful. Till our bhakti or spiritual consciousness goes higher than the material consciousness of our friend, till then we shouldn't preach. Always remember, just get them here, let the speaker give the class. As of now, it's ulta. Our spiritual consciousness is low and their material consciousness is high. So कौन किसको preach करेगा? समझ गए ना? Yes, that's what will happen. So we should be very much aware of the bad association and not be over smart. So this is the first lesson that is there. Now this news, no one knew. No one knew this news. Dashrath, next day, early morning, he goes to meet his beloved wife Kaikeyi. She's not there in her chambers, in her room. Now there was something called as Kopa Bhavan. Kopa Bhavan means when the queen is angry or the queen wants something, she'll go in that particular Bhavan. Bada hall, and she'll go and sit there. And then the king will get to know, okay, she's angry, I have to go and console her. Look at the opulence what was there. अभी 1 BHK का घर है. अरे पत्नी गुस्सा भी हो तो कहाँ जाए? टॉयलेट में बैठ जाके. This is called as, people say we are advancing. No, I don't think we are advancing. मतलब गुस्सा होने के लिए पहले एक रूम था. Can you imagine? अभी सोने के लिए रूम नहीं होता है. Anyways, and then Dasharatha Maharaj goes there, and then Kaikeyi एकदम ड्रामा के साथ. She has removed all her ornaments. It is on the floor. The hair, is removed. Means it was not tied. It was loose, and she's fallen, wearing a very dirty, not dirty, very old sari. She's lying on the floor just like that, without any bedding or mat or whatever. And Dashrath comes there and he starts asking what happened. And all the discussion starts, and Kaikeyi then she says that you are making Ram as the king. And she becomes very hard-hearted and she says that you had told me you'll give me 2 boons. And then you're like, Arey, itna hi. So you're getting angry. Arey, bolo, what 2 boons? Whatever you ask, I'll give. Don't make this mistake. Whatever you ask, I'll give. And at that time, Kaikeyi, ekdam demonic mentality ke saath, she says that, what are 2 boons? The first one, send Ram to forest for 14 years. And second, Bharat, nahi, pehle wo first boli Bharat ko king bana. And he was okay, we'll make Bharat king. But then second moon when she asked that send Ram to forest, exile for 14 years, he just fainted. And then Lord Ram comes after some time because Kaikeyi told, no, the servants go and get him. And then he comes. And then he's seeing that father is crying and then mother is sitting and she's just sitting like that. Kaikeyi is sitting. And then he's asking, what happened? And then he's calling mother. Can you imagine? Ram is calling Kaikeyi as mother and he's asking, mother, what happened? Why is father crying? What's happening? And then she said that I've asked him 2 boons which he wanted to give long time back. He told me, you ask anything, I'll give. I've asked 2 things. Anything I've asked. First thing I want is Bharat to be the king and not you. And Ram was very happy. He said, okay, no problem. Make Bharat the king. I'll work under you. This is our Lord, This is our Lord. He is not attached to all these material things. No. And second thing, when it was told that I want you to go to forest and stay there for 14 years. 14 saal ka vanvas. And he said, oh, that's it. Okay, I'll go. I'm so fortunate, I'll go get the association of the sages in the forest. This was the mood of Ram. And immediately he left from there. Before leaving, he said that why you're asking father to tell? Only if he tells, I'll go. You are my mother, you can tell, and I'll just follow whatever you tell. And he just leaves from there. Can you imagine? By that bad association, her heart was so hard and stone-like. Even when Ram is speaking such wonderful words, her heart is not melting. Can you imagine that? He is telling, Arey, you are my mother, whatever you tell, I'll do. I'm just dependent on you and this and that. For your pleasure, I'll go. All this he's speaking, but then the heart is not melting. Gone case. Done. The poison is filled in the heart now. And he goes, takes blessings of Kaushalya, and then he's talking to Sita Devi, Mother Sita. And for the first time, Mother Sita gets angry. See, when you people are trying to find a match for marriage, don't expect Mother Sita for yourself. We will not get a female having the qualities of Mother Sita or Devahuti or all the wonderful souls who are there in our scriptures. So we should be practical. So Mother Sita got angry only once. Only once. So put many zeros after that and that will be our situation. So anyways, coming back. So Mother Sita started fighting with Ram. You know what Ram said? Anyone knows? What he said? Why did she start fighting?
Because he lived without Sita.
Okay. He said that I've been exiled to forest for 14 years. I'm going. You please stay and take care of my mother, Kaushalya, Kaikeyi and Sumitra. And she got so angry. She didn't have any problem with mother-in-law, by the way. She got angry saying, how can you leave me alone? You remember what you promised my father? You remember that? You told that you'll always take care of me, either in poverty or any situation. And now you're telling me that you'll leave me and go? And she was furious. What will husband do when the wife is furious? Even Lord cannot do anything. And Lord accepted. And Lord Ram was ready. How? He was wearing tree bark and all the ornaments were removed. And then Lakshman, he also came out of nowhere and he's like, I'll also come. And then he made all the arrangement. He told his wife, I'm going, Tata, you take care of yourself. No conversation there. Lakshman is like a different personality altogether. And then, Lakshman also changed his clothes, wearing tree bark, removed all the jewelries, and had their jata, that is tied nicely. And they come, to take these blessings. Now they're about to leave. Sita is still wearing the silk sari, and she's still wearing all the jewelry and all that. And Kaikeyi looks at that and she says, even you should change to tree bark and remove all the ornaments. And Darshan started crying. He's like, what's wrong with you? She's a Sukumari. She's a queen. How can you do that with her? And Kaikeyi, no, she should also. Can you imagine? See, Sita Devi, Mother Sita, is not an ordinary person. Always been a queen. Always been a queen. Queen, we never understand what it means by queen. Because we don't know what actually it means. What it means to have servants for each and everything. What it means that there will be people to dress you, to give you bath also, to take care of each and every activity of yours. And never ever she had any hardship. Never. It is described that when she got married and she came to the house of Lord Ram, so at that time, all the three mothers, they had made a very grand arrangement to welcome her. You know what was the arrangement? So lotus is there, right? So lotus ka middle part that is there, that is much softer than the petals of the lotus. So that they had taken and they had made a huge pathway. अभी ऐसा नहीं कि millimeter था वो ऐसा thickness. It was literally huge. So much of parag was put, so much of that inner world was put. Very soft. It was very, very soft to walk. And Sita Devi, she gets down, from the chariot with Lord Ram and she starts walking. And when she starts walking, in the middle of the pathway, she faints. And everyone was like shocked, and then they got some water and then got her up, and Ram was there. And asked, what happened? And she said, the surface is very hard. Can you imagine? Sukumari she was, very delicate. And she was asked to wear the tree bark, and she fought with Ram that I will come with you. She wore tree bark. And when she was wearing tree bark, it is described that her body was so soft that tree bark was slipping. The tree bark was slipping. It was so hard. So like this, Sita, she could have just stayed back. She would have told Lord Ram, Tera kar main tu dekh le. Main kyun ho? No, I'll stay. I'm Sukumari, I'm queen, I'll take care, I'll be here. 14 years ke baad milta, no problem. You go, enjoy Madi, come back later. But can you imagine the devotion of Sita Devi here? Just try to comprehend a bit. Can you imagine her wonderful devotional quality? She could have stayed back. She could have enjoyed in the palace alone. I was telling this in one class. I don't know if I told you. I told that wherever Narayan goes, Lakshmi will follow. And then I said that's how it is when wherever husband goes, wife follows. And a few females were sitting. Prabhuji, वो ज़माना चला गया. अब यहाँ में देखिए. They were just there. So basically the point is here, when it comes to the Lord, when it comes to the husband, the wife will follow. And here there was no need because husband is telling don't come. The mother-in-law is telling don't go. Father-in-law is telling don't go, but then she's fighting and she's going just for one thing, to serve Lord Ram. Just to be with Lord Ram, just to attain the Lord. This is the second lesson that we have. Take any hardships to attain the Lord. अभी इतना बड़ा टेस्ट तो नहीं होगा हमारे साथ, होने वाला है क्या? 14 साल वनवास. वन है ही नहीं तो वास कहाँ करें? There's no वनवास. But for us, there will be चुटकू टेस्ट होगा हमारे लिए. Like for example, chanting. Now, how much it takes to chant? You just sit at one place, chant nicely, focus. You will feel so much of bliss. But then that itself will be, oh, baapre, so much of austerity. The beads are so heavy, I tell you. So it's a very important thing that in our life we don't have much to do to attain the Lord. Just chant the holy names. Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Just read Bhagavad Gita, apply the principles in life. Just come for satsang. Here it's Krishna Katha, Ram Katha. डांस, have प्रसाद, मतलब इसमें क्या हॉस्टिलिटी है बोलिए? But then still people, तो ये टाइम नहीं है, वो क्या है ना, शॉपिंग के लिए जाना है, फ्रेंड्स के साथ घूमने जाना है. अरे बाप रे, do we have some brain substance or coward is filled here? Literally, I sometimes wonder. Such a great opportunity is given, by the arrangement of the Lord, and all of you are interested also. उसमें भी not taking interest. Oh, very difficult to understand. So it's very important. The statement is very important. Take any hardships not to attain the Lord. This human form is given for that only, right? That's given for that only. So all this was happening where Sita, Ram, and Lakshman, they all, please come forward. Sita, Ram, Lakshman, all of them, they boarded the chariot, and the chariot started, and it was a huge procession. It was a huge procession. All the Ayodhya Vasis, they started following them. Firstly, they started stopping, and they started following, and almost entire Ayodhya was out of Ayodhya with Ram. This is the description that is given. Now, when all this was happening, Bharat was not there in the scene. He had gone to his mama's house. And there was no question of he knowing what is happening and things like that. And Lord Ram left this huge pastime, where he left and then how he escaped from all the Ayodhya Vasis at night and he crossed the river. Now Bharat was sent a message that immediately you are requested to come. And before he came, Dashrath left his body. He couldn't feel the separation from Ram. Actually, we cannot understand only what it means to have Supreme Personality of Godhead as our own son. We cannot understand this. We cannot understand. Dashrath is so attached to his son like Lord Ram. And when Lord Ram got separated from him, how can you feel that pain of separation? Sometimes, boys, who lost their girlfriend, they come and say, "Tojo chhoti chali gayi." They'll cry so piteously, so piteously. And after a week, if you meet, sir, theek hai bro, कोई problem नहीं. और जब first time when they come to tell, "Bro, जी breakup हो गया, अब थोड़ा कुछ बोलिए तो." So what will I tell? I'm a sadhu. But still I tell, don't worry, chant Hare Krishna, be happy. It's okay, things keep happening. Sometimes I tell, एक ट्रेन चली गई, दूसरी ट्रेन आ जाएगी. Don't worry, things will be fine. नहीं bro, आप ऐसे कैसे बोल रहे हैं? Bro, true love था, bro, true love. I cannot explain you. True love. अभी क्या एक हफ्ते में समझ आता है true love क्या है. Then I start searching one other crush around. Anyways. But when it comes to this separation, we cannot understand. Even I have seen the husband who lose the wife also, or wife who lose the husband, max to max 1 महीना 2 महीना 1 साल, they will feel the separation. After that, ठीक है, अभी चले गए, अभी उनका रास्ता अलग था, मेरा रास्ता अलग है. तभी सारा भगवद गीता philosophy दिमाग में आता है. So this separation, we cannot understand what Dasharath was feeling from Ram. And you know what? In that pain, he gave up his body. And Bharat comes. And he sees when he enters Ayodhya, it is almost like he's entering a crematorium. Now it was like a graveyard. Ekdam shant, ekdam dusty everywhere. People are very morose and things like that. And then he goes to Kaikeyi immediately, and then he's asking, what's wrong? Where is father? I'm not able to find him. And then he gets to know, from one of the person that father has left his body. He starts crying. He said, what happened? Ma, what happened? And then she starts telling, "Arey, chhod ye sab, I have very good news for you." And then she started telling the 2 good news. First one, that you will be crowned as the king of Ayodhya. And he's like, what? Ram is supposed to be coronated like that. I'm supposed to serve him. And after that, she told the second, no, Ram will not become the king. Why? Because Ram is exiled to forest for 14 years. For you, I made this arrangement. And at that time, you will not believe, Bharat, he got so angry on Kaikeyi, so angry. And Shatrughna was there beside. Almost was like they were about to kill her. About to kill her. That was the mood. And immediately Bharat started. Bharat started to get back Lord Ram from the forest. And when Bharat started, so at that time the ministers came, the Ayodhya was like, we'll also come. The mother said, we will also come. Kaikeyi realized some little thing after hearing so much of gali, from the son. She realized, no, I've not done proper thing. And then everyone, they started going. Now there's a huge commotion. See, forest means ekdam peaceful. Like Srirangapatna we had gone. It was so peaceful. So peaceful. Some parts, so peaceful. So when they all started going, a huge number. It was like elephants and horses, almost like, it was a huge army going. So at that time, hearing the sound, the animals were going hither and thither in the forest, and Lakshmana was like, something is wrong. He climbed the tree, and then he started looking what's happening, and then he saw the flag, and the flag was of Bharat, and then he started shouting, Bhaiya, Bhaiya, listen, what's happening? Bharat has come to kill us. We should get ready to kill him. And Lakshman all the time will be like that, agitated fully. And at that time, Ram said, no, wait a minute. I don't think so, if that's the case. And they all stopped, the army and everyone a bit far distance, and then Bharat started walking towards that place. When Bharat entered that arena or the place where Ram was there, Lakshman was there, Sita Devi was there, Bharat was in a different attire altogether. Because he had heard, when Ram left Ayodhya, Ram was wearing tree bark. And his hair was matted. So before he started from Ayodhya, he also gave up his royal clothes. He wore a tree bark, and then he also made his hair matted. And then when Ram saw that, he was astonished. And when Lakshman saw that, his anger came down, and he was like peaceful now. And Bharat started saying, no, you come back. How can I sit on the throne? Oh, Lord, tell me, how can I sit on the throne? Oh, I cannot, you come back. Or I will stay in the forest. For me, staying in the forest would be much better than sitting on the throne in the kingdom. And this was the statement that was made. And there was a lot of discussion that happens. It's a huge session. That is Ram Bharat Milap. Some other day will take for 2 hours. So at that time, Bharat said, okay, because you are telling to go back and rule the kingdom, I will do that. But I will not be ruling the kingdom, you will be ruling the kingdom. So he had got padukas, and he offers padukas to Lord Ram. And Lord Ram wears it, and then he gives back the padukas. And he says, these padukas will be ruling the kingdom, and I will be the servant of these padukas. And then he takes. And for your information, Bharat never entered Ayodhya. Never. There was a place before Ayodhya. What was the name? Nandigram. So he stayed in Nandigram, and from there he would take care of the entire kingdom. But he never entered because he had taken a vow that only after my brother comes back I will enter. Only when my Lord comes back I will enter. Many times, this pastime is told to two brothers, and it is said, "Dekhiye, aise rehna chahiye ek dusre ke saath." It is not about the pastime of two brothers. It's a pastime of the devotee and the Lord. The devotee is ready to do anything for the Lord. And can you imagine, entire life, 14 years, Bharat stayed like that. He was knowing forest mein Ram will not get chappan bhog there. There will be only some roots and fruits which he will be having. So he understood that. He also shifted to the same diet. Roots and fruits. ऐसे नहीं कि वजन बढ़ गया तो कम करना है. That was a pain in the heart that my brother will not be able to have the royal food. How can I eat? And he was like, Ram will sleep on the bed, so I'll sleep on the floor. Now Ram is sleeping on the floor, so you know what he did? It is height of this devotee. You know what he did? He dug a pit, and he was sleeping in that pit. He said, if he is sleeping on the floor, I'll go underground. This was the thing. And throughout these 14 years, he kept Lord Ram in the center of his life, and he did his duties. This is called as being Krishna conscious or God conscious. Sometimes people ask, Prabhuji, so many responsibilities are there. How bhakti is possible? It is possible. Keep the Lord in the center and do your duties, whatever duties are there. Do it for the Lord's pleasure. Why can't we live our life like that? Yes. So this is the third lesson that we learn. Do your duties, keeping Lord as the center. What was the first lesson that we learned? Beware of bad association. Second, take any hardships to attain the Lord. Third, do your duties, keeping Lord as the center. Now this Vanvas period was going on, and there comes a very, very beautiful girl. What was the name of that girl? Surpanaka was beautiful? Surpanaka came there in disguise and she started proposing Ram. She started proposing Ram ki, I want to marry you, you're so handsome and I'm so beautiful, we are made for each other. And Ram said, see, I've taken already a vrata, Eka Patni vrata. I cannot marry a second one. See, my wife is here. My brother is here and his wife is not here. So he's there. And then she goes there. And then she's again. Now see, this demoness, now no chastity at all. She's proposing one man and he's saying, go to that person. She's going there. And then she's proposing that person. Please marry me. You're so handsome. You're so beautiful. I'm so beautiful. You're made for each other. They're also made for each other. You're also made for each other. And then Lakshman was also like, no, I have to take care of my brother and my what to say, mother-in-law, sister-in-law. Correct, ना? क्या बोलते हैं? भाभी को क्या बोलते हैं? हाँ, sister-in-law. So I have to take care of them. And in fact, it was not sister-in-law for him; it was mother only. That's how he treated. In fact, there was a point when Sita was kidnapped by Ravan. So at that time, she removes the jewels and she throws it down. And when they go, Sugriva, they had found them and they were showing to Lord Ram. And Lord Ram couldn't see because he was in tears. And he's asking Lakshman, Lakshman, do you see? And at that time, Lakshman says, I don't know any of these jewelry, but I know this jewelry. And that was ankle bells. He had never taken darshan of Sita above the feet of Sita. Can you imagine? This is called like devotion towards the goddess Sita and the Lord Ram. This was the mood of the devotee. So here, all this talk was going on. Lakshman is sending you, go to him, and Ram is sending to him. And at that time, Surpanaka felt, why all this happening with me? Because this lady is there, I'll kill her now. Then he will become single, ready to mingle with me. With that plan, she went to kill. And at that time, Lakshman, since he was indicated by Lord Ram, he cuts the nose and the ear of Surpanaka with a sword. And at that time, the beautiful Surpanaka comes back to her much beautiful form, which was very, very scary. Very, very scary. This is something which we have to understand. Situations will bring out our real nature. We cannot hide it for a long time. Ekdam I said, we try proving ourselves. No, I'm a good person. What do you call it? A social decorum. We maintain social decorum, when we meet people and things like that. We fake ourselves so many times. But you know what? This cannot last long. We cannot fake ourselves for a long time. Some Lakshman will be there who will cut our nose or ear. And then we'll be back to our original form. Or the demon who is there inside will manifest. Our original nature will come out. It's very important that faking outside, we have to transform ourselves inside. That is very important. That's what happens when we do devotional service. Everyone has a demon inside. Yes or no? सबके पास है ना? सब लोग हाँ नहीं बोल रहे हैं. Everyone should have a demon. Or else you would not sitting there. You would be there in Goloka Vrindavan, Vaikuntha. Because from there you will be looking at क्या class चल रहा है. You will not be sitting like this here, hearing 10 lessons or lessons from Ramayana. All of us have that demon. And we cannot fake it for a long time. Many times people say, probably you say only spiritualists have good qualities. But no, I see my boss also has good qualities. My colleague also has good qualities. Arey bhai, critical situation analyze karo na. How is their behavior? Right? So it's very, very important to note only a spiritualist can have wonderful qualities. Why? Because he has worked on not external makeup, but the internal transformation. So he's very beautiful when it comes to his qualities. And his qualities will be stable because there's an internal transformation that has happened. So we as spiritualists, as spiritual seekers, we should work on internal transformation than faking to people, look how great I am. We will become great provided we are transformed within. And that's what is the fourth lesson that we have. Situations will bring out our real nature. So don't fake it. for a long time. Sometimes I say, fake it till you make it. But that is the association. We in the association, everyone will behave nicely. So, apna fake chalte rahega for a time. But outside, we cannot fake it for a long time. Yes. Because there are people who are waiting for us from past life to test us nicely in this life. Karma exchange is still remaining. And they'll come and they'll nicely trigger us and squeeze us nicely in our life, and all the garbage that is there will come out from our mouth. So it's very, very important to focus on the internal transformation that will happen by practicing the mantra meditation and the principles of Gita. Otherwise, there is no other way. There is no other way. You attend as many seminars as possible: anger control, lust control, greed control, this planning, that planning. Nothing works. Nothing works. Someone was asking me, Prabhu, आप time management पे थोड़ा सेमिनार दीजिए. किस किस को चाहिए time management सेमिनार? कितने शर्माते हो? पता है गाली पड़ेगी. See, what is time management all about? Time management is all about priorities. For that we need clarity. So if we have clarity, we know what to prioritize when, right? And that clarity easily comes for a spiritualist because his spiritual practices makes it very clear for him what next to do in life. He knows very well what should be the priority. And then automatically पूरा सब कुछ manage हो जाता है. No need to make timetable and this and that, stick it on the table and never follow. Not needed to do all this. Anyways, the point I'm trying to make is the situations will bring out our real nature. So better work on the internal transformation than the external makeup. What are the 4 lessons that we have learned till now? The first one, beware of bad association. Who taught us this? Don't say Kartikeya Das. It was Kaikeyi and Manthara, that particular prasanga. Lesson 2. Take any hardships to attain the Lord. Who taught us this? Sita, Mother Sita. Third lesson. What's that? Do your duties keeping the Lord as the center of your life. Who has taught us this? Bharat. And the fourth one is this. Situations will bring out our real nature. Who has taught us this? Lakshman. Yes. Surpanaka bhi bol sakte. Now when all these things were going on, I'm sure in the Vanavas what happened, you all know. How Lord Ram killed so many demons, etc., etc., etc. This Surpanaka goes to her elder brother. Who was the elder brother? Who were the other 2 brothers? Vibhishan and Kumbhakarna. So we'll not speak much about them. One day we'll have this session. 2 brothers, 3 brothers, 4 brothers of Ramayana. 2 brothers, who were they? Bali and Sugriv. 3 brothers. Ravan, Kumbhakarna, Vibhishan. 4 brothers. So we'll discuss someday, some details about these, this topic. So anyways, so here, when this happened, when she went and she told, then Ravan, he went to Maricha and he said, you become a golden deer, you go and allure Sita, and Sita will ask that I want that golden deer, Ram will go behind you, and at that time I'll kidnap Sita. So this was the entire plan, everything is planned nicely, and now the execution time. The deer comes and plays around and Sita Devi, she's like, I want that, and then Lord Ram, okay, I'll get it, and then he starts running. And at that time, Lord Ram tells who? Lakshman, that you stay here and take care of her. It's a very dangerous place. But then, what happened is, Lord Ram was running behind this deer, and he killed at one point. And when the deer was killed, he came to his original form as Maricha, and he made a loud sound. What was the sound? Lakshman, Sita, help me. And at that time, Sita, you're like, Lakshman, did you hear? Did you hear? Your brother needs help. And Lakshman is like, what's wrong with you? He's Supreme Personality of Godhead. He has killed, single-handedly he had killed 14,000 men of Ravan in that forest. Like, what's wrong with you? He will not need help. And Sita Devi, she started saying so many things to him. Oh, now I understand what you were planning. You wanted your brother to be killed and then you'll be able to enjoy me alone in the forest. And Lakshman, what are you speaking, mother? What are you speaking? Okay, I'll go. And at that time, Lakshman, to protect Sita, he does something. What was that? Lakshman Rekha, yes? वो cockroach मारने वाला है. So with this mystical power, sorry, that was spontaneous. I always wondered in my childhood why it was written as Lakshman Rekha. Because I didn't knew much about this Ramayana and all that. No, I was so materialist. When I read, then I understood. उसमें से आया, this Lakshman Rekha. Anyways, so he made a circle around the entire hut, entire cottage, and he told Sita very clearly, "Don't step outside this place." This was the instruction that was given, and Lakshman left. Lakshman left, and then he went and he met Lord Ram, and Lord Ram was surprised. What's wrong with you? Why you came here? And then at that time, Lakshman said, your wife was speaking all this. And you know what? At that time, Lord Ram says, Baba, these females will keep speaking. You took it seriously? ज़्यादा नहीं बोल सकते live हो रहा है ना. So both of them started running. They were coming, and before they came, Ravan would disguise himself as a great sadhu, and he came there. And then Sita was very happy. Oh, a sadhu has come to her place. I'll give alms. He has come, so she gets something, to give. And then she was standing inside the Lakshman Rekha, and Ravan was standing outside. Ravan tried coming inside, but then he could feel a lot of fire, in that entire line, so he couldn't enter. And at that time, Ravan is saying, "You come outside. I cannot come inside." And Sita Devi, being very innocent, she crossed the Lakshman Rekha. And then rest she was kidnapped. This is a very, very important point to note, a very important lesson to derive here. Instruction was very clear, isn't it? Don't cross this Rekha. Very clear. But it's a very normal, so basically here, she is a goddess, but she is acting as a living entity to teach us the lesson here. A living entity, that is you and me, there's a huge tendency to go or get deviated from the right path, always. You know what protects us? The instructions from the spiritual master and instructions from the scriptures. That's what protects us. That's why we say Bhagavad Gita, the life manual, is very, very important. Because the instructions are very clear in the life manual. What has to be done, what things we should avoid, etc., etc. So when we just be in that boundary of the instructions given by the spiritual master and the scriptures like Bhagavad Gita, we will remain safe. But now in this world, what has happened? Everyone wants to go out of this Rekha, the instructions given by the scriptures. No one wants to follow the life manual. And what is happening? You see the chaotic situations around. Yes? So much chaos, everywhere, so much chaos. The females are, that hijab thing is going on where they're burning their scarf and this and that. Females want their rights. Men want to do something other nonsense. And then there are some other kids who are busy doing their nonsense. Teenage kids are getting spoiled. We have teenage pregnancies and this and that. Where are we living? What sort of world we are living in? My God. And for your information, Kali Yuga span is 4,32,000 years, out of which only 5,000 years have passed. मतलब अभी ट्रेलर ही चल रहा है, पिक्चर चालू ही नहीं हुआ अभी तक. Can you imagine that? Yes. So So it's a very important point to note. Where are we living? What place we are living in. But then since we are living in such a precarious condition in this dirty world, Lord has given us the instructions to how to come out of this place. Or how to be in this place but not belong to this place by raising one's consciousness on the spiritual platform. So instruction of scriptures have been followed very strictly. And the Guru will give us the description of that instruction so that we can implement that practically. Right? So this is the fifth lesson that we learn, that instructions of Guru and scriptures will protect us. Let's not cross the Rekha of Bhagavad Gita. If we don't, then we will survive in this material world, or it will be very difficult for us to survive, for sure. Can you imagine? What will be the situation on the last day of Kali Yuga? 4,32,000th day. What will be the situation? My God. I cannot imagine also. The place will be so dirty. People will be so dirty, the consciousness will be so dirty. And by the way, it's a prediction, it's a prophecy that is made in the scriptures that this bhakti that we all are talking about will remain only for 10,000 years. After 10,000 years, you'll not find any ISKCON center, you'll not find any scriptures, you'll not find much devotees around. Now just imagine what will be the situation after 10,000 years. It's going to be horrible, horrible. No one to tell us what to do and what not to do. So it's very important. We have to go deep in the Shastra and we have to abide by the instructions given by Sri Guru. So Sita was kidnapped. So 5 lessons we have done. The last lesson for today and we'll end. Sita was kidnapped and Ravana was taking her on the chariot. The chariot was like flying in the air. And at that time, when she was shouting and yelling out, calling for help, at that time, there was one person who came. Who was that? Huh? Jatayu, yes. The vulture, Jatayu. Now for your information, Jatayu was a very, very old personality. For many, many thousands of years he had lived. Precisely 60,000 years. Now this personality is very, very old. And he came to fight. Please hear, this is a very, very important thing and I'm sure this will give a lot of enthusiasm for us to progress in our life. He was very old and still he was going to fight with Dashanana. Anand means face, Dasha means 10. Dashanana means the 10-headed one, that is Ravan. He was fighting with Dashanana, who had like 20 hands and 10 heads. How nice, no? 20 hands, so much work can be done simultaneously. He was simultaneously fighting with all the 20 hands. And this personality, Jatayu, what he had? Beak and wings. But then he was, Ravana was like, alright, this old bird, what he will do? He was taking it for granted. But Jatayu, he killed the animal which was dragging the chariot and he broke the chariot and many things he did. At that time, Ravana, he cut one of the wing of Jatayu. And Sita was still shouting, please help me, Jatayu, please help me. And at that time, with only one wing, he was going up, flapping and going up, and with that one wing, he was slapping Ravana like anything. Left, right. With full enthusiasm, he was fighting with Ravana, with just one wing and one beak. And at that time, this old bird, already whose one wing was lost, the next wing that was there, that was also cut, and Jatayu just fell down in the pool of his own blood. And Ravana took Sita, and he just left. And Jatayu was crying here. Look what happened. There was a battle, and Jatayu lost. He didn't win. He was a loser. He lost. Lord Ram and Lakshman, they are searching for Sita, and they are coming the same pathway, and they saw a red pool. A pool of blood, and in that, this bird, Jatayu, without wings. And Lord Ram comes there running. And then, he's speaking to Jatayu. And Jatayu is only telling one thing, that Mother Sita has been taken in that direction, is taken in that direction. Even in that situation, when he's about to die, he wants to do service to Lord Ram. Oh, this is called as the intense mood of service. He was fighting, when he knew, obviously when one wing was cut, he could have just gone from that place, but he was still fighting. And he was ready not to face the death, just to do service to Mother Sita and Lord Ram. And here, Jatayu was on the lap of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Lord of the Lords, Jagannath. And he was lying on the lap of Jagannath, the Lord of the entire universe, looking at the beautiful face of Lord Ram. He left his body. What is the use? What is the use of winning a game and then losing it? Look at this personality. He lost it and then he won it. Look at this. This is a very, very important lesson for all of us. Give your best and leave the rest. Give your best when it comes to practice of devotional service, spirituality. Give your best in your own life, in your day-to-day life. And leave the rest out to the Lord. Sab theka khud hi nahi leke baithna hai. Lord also has some role to play. I always say this in my classes. Understand your job description and understand Lord's job description. Lord's job description is to protect us, and He will do that in various ways, the way He wants. And our job description as servants of the Lord is to serve the Lord. We have to serve Him. So when we are serving Him, Lord will take care of us. But our problem is, what if Lord does not protect me? मतलब एकदम dumb वाला question. What if Lord will not? अरे Lord is protecting an ant, Lord is protecting an elephant, He is providing food to both of them, He is protecting every insect in this world. He will not protect a very evolved species of human being. He will not protect His devotees. He will. He will. But His protection will be in His own way, and His protection will take us to the next level of spirituality. So let's do our best, give our best in our endeavors, and leave the rest onto the Lord. So let's revise all the 6 lessons that we have learned today. The first one, beware of bad association. Who taught us this? Kaikeyi and Manthara, that situation, that particular prasanga. Second,
Take hardships
to attain the Lord. And who taught us this? Mother Sita. Third,
Do your
duties,
Lord,
keeping the Lord in the center of our life. Who taught us this? Bharat Maharaj. Fourth,
Situations will bring out our
real nature. Who taught us this? Lakshman and Surmanakha. And the fifth one,
Instruction of Guru and scriptures will protect us.
instructions of Guru and scriptures will protect us. That's the rekha for us, which we shouldn't cross. Who taught us this? Lakshman and Mother Sita in that situation. And finally, the sixth one, give your best, leave the rest. And who taught us this? Jatayu, a great devotee of the Lord. Can you imagine? Even Dasharath, when he left his body, Lord Ram was not present to do his Antim Samskar. And here a bird dies and Lord Ram is doing his Antim Samskar as his own son. That's the glory. Any questions?
Why Vanvas is for 14 years, not 13 or 15?
अभी कई बताएंगे मुझे नहीं पता उसके दिमाग में 14 आया था 14
Lord Sri Ram knows, like if he leaves Dasarath, then he may die. So why he, by knowing also, he was a god, na, so he knows if I leave, he will die with tears. So by knowing also why he was.
Actually, there's a deep answer for this. I'll give a superficial answer. So what happens is that when the devotee is separated from the Lord, the devotee is in deep thoughts of the Lord more than when the Lord is present Himself or in front of that devotee. He'll not be able to be there in that deep absorption of the Lord. So when the Lord is not there, there's a deep absorption. And in that, when someone leaves the body, he goes back. Lord, yeah. So he's like, okay, he'll go back to his original abode. Like that. No, it will not be changed. So there are, anyways, the Kala session is still remaining, the time session, we will see in that. We will understand deeply about that.
Lord protects us every time, right? Every species. Then why in the forest some animals getting killed by another animal? Why is not protecting them? And also in our human beings, when you are being very sacrificial, like that. Why is not protecting them?
See, the rule of this world is Jiva Jivasya Jivanam. One entity depends on other entity, living entity. So that's how the forest runs. That's how the animals, one animal will depend on another animal. Yes. And when it comes to human beings also, we have to understand one thing, that nothing is happening by chance. Yes. So what is happening is basically the karma exchange that was remaining is getting completed now in this life. So it's all logical. There's nothing called illogical. When someone is going through something in life, which is not proper according to us, we have to understand that this is the past karma bomb that is blasting in his life. Yes. So when it comes to Lord's protection, Lord protects us in His own way, as I already said. Right. So say we are His devotee, we remember Him, and say we get murdered, but we are remembering Him. So what happens at that particular point of time is we will be given a good destination where we can continue our spiritual practices and go back to Him. See, finally, what is the protection? Protection is not protecting this body, no? We are not this body, we are spirit soul. So it's not about protection of this body. Protection of spirit soul. What do I mean by protection of spirit soul? Protection of the servitude of the spirit soul, protection of the consciousness of the spirit soul, which Lord does. And He as super soul reminds us every lifetime to continue the spiritual practice. That's the reason I always say that you people are not sitting here for the first time. It's not possible to sit in a class which has got deep lessons from Ramayana and hear that with so much of attention and absorption. Not possible. If you are the first timer in the entire whatever lifetimes. So we have been doing that, and Lord is reminding us, giving us various opportunities. That's Lord's protection. Like that. I think we'll go for chanting. I'll be here, we can discuss. Yes. Okay, stand up everyone. Please stretch your legs and receive the beats. Next lesson was from Shabri, and after that was Jambavan, Vibhishan, and Ravan. Some other day I will take it.